I have way too many windows open here. Yeah, so we're just going to be doing a quick audio balance check, and then I'll let these two stop being, like, very worrying. Okay, thank you, Kyle, and... Okay, hitting the button now. Oop. There we go. There's a countdown. That's all I wanted. Thank you. Alright, the race should be starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Looks like somebody was a little on the spot. Catador, you pressed it too soon. Alright. Well, that's, an auspicious start. Alright, so we'll have to just remember that if Catador ends up, like, winning by 5 seconds, that I have to retime this. So, I believe everyone who's in here right now is already a PK Scrambler, but I'm going to still do the entire, like, spiel on what this is anyway, because this is also Earthbound Super Series that we're commentating on for the first time, so maybe there are some people who've wandered in here who haven't seen it yet. Thanks, Ori. Yeah, so PK Scramble is a key item randomizer for Earthbound. The way that it works is it will shuffle the locations of all the key items. That's like meteorite piece, library book, stuff like that. A handful of extra items, which I'll explain in just a second. It shuffles those, it shuffles where the kids join, and it adds something in the game that we call a PK check. So a PK check is a thing placed on like a plot important NPC, and it will give you a random teleport location. And that's what opens up this game's logic, because no amount of key item randomization is going to get you anywhere except Tucson from on it, unless you add something like that. So you can see that WizardVapes is already heading over and talking to Liar Exaggerate. The statue in his basement is a PK check. It'll give you a random teleport. They've also already checked Buzz, which is another one, which I did not notice because I was fiddling with my stream setup. So they should be finishing up this mountain with 2 teleports, and then from the meteor itself, they'll have a key item. And then that will determine where they're going to be going. The goal here is, of course, to beat Gygus. Oh, that's funny. So one of the options in a PK check is that it is just Starstorm. So they ended up with a Starstorm instead of a teleport. That's going to restrict their ability to... Who put up that prediction? That's going to restrict their ability to route, but it does mean that if they do find Pooh, that they'll be able to blow everything up, because Starstorm is very powerful in the early game. WizardVapes finding the zombie paper. Catador will be up there finding his own zombie paper in just a second. So this is the runoff race. These are the 2 lowest rated racers on our qualifiers, but they are also just 2 racers who only submitted 1 qualifier time. So that's why they're very low rated. I have no idea how good the 2 of them are. WizardVapes is getting abducted by zombies. That's going to give him a kid. Kid is in character. Like, just pick up random kids. And it's Paula. So Paula's in the zombie prison. Paula is very useful because she has freeze and a ton of psychic points, and is required to beat the game. But unlike the other kids, she does not start with a key item. If they find their way to Tucson, then they can talk to Everdread, who does require Paula. Catador is picking up his Paula. Yeah, so as I was saying, we have no idea which one of these is going to win. So WizardVapes is like a standing speedrunner of Earthbound. Does this all the time. Has not done too many scrambles, but I saw him just like straight up grinding these a couple of days ago, so he's definitely taking this seriously. Catador is actually one of the people who's helped with the development of this. He's a genius at assembly hacking, and there's a whole bunch of his patches in this very ROM. So maybe that'll help him. Maybe he's snuck some sort of secret cheats in here that I didn't notice when I was including his patches. We may never know. So one of the items that they picked up is the police badge. That's a new item to open up the logic a little bit. It lets you do the chief of police check. Get beat up by comps, open up the Tucson barrier. As we can see here, the chief of police is a giant rat. A great sprite artist by the name of Messianic has submitted extra sprites for all of the bosses that can get shuffled into unusual spots and suddenly need graphics that they've never had before. Catador is using the teleport to avoid a shark, a thing that you will never see in vanilla. It looks like the cops aren't giving Vapes too much of a trouble, so he should be able to get through here and get to Tucson. Whereas Catador is going, of course, for the sharks, who are a more common first thing to start with. I'm Mondo Mole. You are? Please comment in chat if you are Mondo Mole. And we can see here that that giant rat is Plague Rat of Doom, which makes an awful lot of sense. Looks just like him. And he was very easy, so WizardVapes did not have any trouble cleaning up those cops. And can now get to Tucson, where he's going to have 2 checks. Whereas Catador is running into a hard time. It looks like everyone's falling asleep. So this seed has 25% attack shuffle. So there will be about 1 in 4 attacks that any enemy has will just be random from some other enemy who's had their attacks shuffled out. So that really can keep you on your toes. You can end up with all sorts of things that are not normally in that location or with that boss. Looks like Catador prioritized holding onto a bunch of PP for Shroom, which I completely agree with. Shroom is a nasty one to let have a move. Well, Vapes is already doing his Mondo Mole and Shroom fights. So Vapes is pretty considerably ahead because he's got the entire police check ahead of him. I already missed what the item they're going to get for doing this is. They have to go back up to Mayor Perkle to actually claim whatever item this gave them. This would be the key to the shack shot. Key to the shack slot in vanilla. Right, and Vapes has cleaned up his sharks as well. Looks like Vapes is not doing the Perkle check. Maybe it was something completely useless. I once again did not look while Mondo Mole was saying what the item was. I don't know why he's ignoring that present. And Catador has got his Plague Rat of Doom, so now he also can get to Tucson. So in Tucson, there's 2 checks available. There's always the Apple Kid check, where you have to feed him and give him $200. Also on Catador's side, you can see that you can get 2 exit mice. Very important. Having that second exit mouse really speeds up a lot of your routing. So yeah, you feed Apple Kid, you give him $200, you meet him in the park full of burglars, like a sketchy person, and then he'll give you something. And today we find out that he has invented the Franklin badge. Very useful. Tucson also has Everdred. You need Paula to visit Everdred, but they have Paula. So we'll see if... Oh, WizardVapes is... I thought he was just remembering it. He's either forgotten that he already has Paula and can do that, or... Oh, there he goes. He's just got it. And never dreaded is Electrospectre, who has a magnificent sprite, once again, courtesy of Messianic. That sprite is just dancing. Not doing much damage with melee attack, might be a little overscaled. We do need a Get Spectred emote. Electrospectre has already killed Butts' teddy bear. That Franklin badge is actually a really good timing, having that right before Electrospectre. And judging by the fact that he's using Weak Thunder, I don't think the logic really expects him to be that, which is funny because it was right there. And Catador's got his Franklin badge. Putting it on Paula immediately. Very smart. And also forgetting that he can already do Electrospectre. Alright, Vapes is going to get something from Electrospectre, and it's a jar of fly honey. So that, plus the zombie paper that they already have, is very useful. That means that they can use the zombie paper to get to Saturn Valley, and the jar of fly honey to get to Belch's base. Belch's base will clear out all of the ghosts, and from there they can get to Fourside, which has at least 2 checks available to them. This is almost a vanilla start, since they're kind of starting in Eagle End, but they're not quite doing anything in the order that you would in vanilla. Hey, we just got a follow from Papunga, who is actually on the credits of this game. So, hey there, Papunga. This fellow helped me with the very, very early testing before it was ready to show to any of the speedrunning community. And he's currently rock climbing, so he's probably not expecting the random shout-out. Also on early credits is Aurelius, who's in chat and laughing. But I'm sure he was expecting the random shout-out. Alright. Catador's doing 3 tunnel. Nobody likes doing 3 tunnel. A lot of the time you can... Hey Papunga, how are you doing? What are these emojis? Hello, Glitchbound? Yeah, so this tunnel is awful. Nobody likes checking it. But when you only have the zombie paper to get to Saturn Valley and you don't find the teleport, you have to do it anyway. There is guaranteed, currently, to be a Saturn Valley teleport somewhere in your seed. Though there are also 2 teleport locations in Saturn Valley, either of which could be the Saturn Valley teleport, which is very useless. It looks like... looks like Carpenter is in the slimy little style spot. I don't know why I find that so funny. York, everyone. Also, Catador pulling slightly ahead. That's what you get when you set your favorite thing to Scramble instead of Butts. Yeah, it really is close. They've, traded spots a couple of times, too. They're actually some of the closest according to qualifier points. But they also both did 1 match of qualifiers, and they were different ones. So the fact that they're super close in qualifier points shouldn't mean anything. Yeah, and ahead here... So I think they both have done the same checks. but there's also gearing. So I think one of the things where WizardVapes dipped behind slightly is one of the things where WizardVapes dipped slightly behind is gearing up a little bit in Threed. And he's taking a bit of a risky play here. Going straight into Belch's base without going to Satin Valley means that he will not have the Satin Valley teleport if he dies. Catador, on the other hand, is going to Satin Valley and probably going to check gear and stuff like that. But it is an entire tunnel, like 3 screen transitions. Quite a bit of time that WizardVapes is potentially saving by just YOLOing into Belch base. That's why they call him the Risky Wizard. I don't know if anyone calls him that, I just made that up. Please make sure to only trash talk people who enjoy being trash talked. But there are people who are that and like totally give them a whole lot of shit. Ooh. It looks like Vapes lost Paula to a Fabi. Oh, and he is going to back out. Alright, that is very responsible. I like going in there and trying a lot more than I like... I like going in there and giving that a shot a lot more than... Oh, Catador hasn't done his average red check yet. So yeah, you're right, Aurelix, it is hard to tell who's ahead when everything is scrambled. Anyway, I like going in there and giving it a shot and then retreating a lot more than I like plowing on and getting wrecked. Alright, now Catador has the jar of Clowny that he needs to do Belch's base. So he'll be heading to just the same spot. That looks like he needs another safety sleep. I needed a safety map earlier this day. That's why I was a little bit behind on organizing all of this. Those safety naps really come in handy. Butts and Butts trying to get away and did. It's kind of funny that Vapes is avoiding Fabis now. We did see that Paula got wrecked by one. So maybe they have like a nasty attack shoveled onto them or something like that. Yeah, somebody should make fan art of Electrospectre settling down and running a farm in Tucson. We also don't have the fan art of Gygas shredding furiously on a skateboard, which I swear somebody said they were going to do. Alright, they are once again very close. WizardVapes is in the Hall of Awful Spawns. Is he going to try to stutter past this guy? It looks like he is. Very nicely stuttered. And we have Heavily Armed Pokey here. This one's always fun for people who haven't seen the rando before, is seeing Heavily Armed Pokey by himself. As a boss, he's very basic. He just has a stat down move and a attack, but he has a ton of speed and he's also weak to paralysis, so this should be pretty easy. There's a ton of speed and a ton of health, so it can be a bit of a difficult fight. But it was not. Looks like Catador's about to get his copy of Heavily Armed Pokey. So Pokey's not supposed to have a interactable sprite, so the hitbox for it is completely jank. So you saw Catador there having a little bit of trouble actually interacting with the sprite because, yeah, the sprite is like wide but not tall. It's like 0 pixels tall from some angles. It's weird. And I've tried to fix it, but I don't think the game actually will correctly set a sprite's I don't think it actually is capable of doing correct collision for a sprite that size. It's the only sprite in the game with that size. Man, WizardVapes is getting on the bus. There's a lot of dispute in the community about whether the bus is faster than walking. Catador's got a teleport to deep darkness. That's kind of useless. Misses the photo trigger dodge. But it looks like he's going to be heading up into the worst sanctuary in the game. Rainy Circle. Milky Well? I always get those confused. That's Milky Well. Yeah, a lot of runners will actually save this as their last sanctuaries, which is also common in several of the speedrun categories. Because the sanctuary is awful, and all the enemies in it are awful. But getting out of the way does save a little bit of time if you go through it quick enough. Looks like Vapes is getting off in Dusty Dunes. He's probably checking the shops. Is Paul gonna survive that? Doesn't look like it. Right. Vapes is dipping into the monkey cave and realizing he doesn't have a monkey invitation. You need an invitation and a pencil eraser to complete the monkey cave. I'm avoiding a lot of presents in the way. I don't know about some of those ones that are right on the way like that. Ooh. Alright, this guy is mining for pencil erasers, so that is going to be a big help. But unfortunately, the mine is infested with tents. So that sounds pretty intense. We don't know whether WizardVapes is going to immediately go for it or not, but it looks like he is, because he's taking the heal here. A lot of bills. Honestly, as many times as I just, like, did item name and then put an S on the end, I'm kind of surprised that it's been this long before running into something like that. So I'm going to count it as a win anyway. Catador is just plowing through on Ness only. If he has a couple life noodles or something, it kind of makes sense. Otherwise, yeah. And then he finds one. That's very good. Is he... Okay, he is going to actually use his healing items, right? Okay. I'm very low in PP. Yeah. Very interesting decisions over here. Meanwhile, Vapes is going to have to kill a whole bunch of boogie tents. So the enemies in sanctuary spots end up with extra HP. So this Kraken actually has 1.5 times as much HP as it would if it was not in the sanctuary spot, and the mines end up with less, so there's actually half as much HP as they would have gotten in their normal spot. So these are weak boogie tents and a strong Kraken, but of course there's a lot of boogie tents there, that's why it's half. Kraken's also kind of a joke. I think its level value is set too high, so the scaling logic just kind of overestimates him. Catador might get through this. There you go. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, there you go. Catador's got his first sanctuary. A little bit of time save there, and then Vapes is well on his way through probably the longest dungeon in the game, the Mole Cave. I mean the Tent Cave. Really could be anyone's game still. They've diverged in logic quite a bit, and last time they were in the same spot, they were really close. For anyone who's new to PK Scramble, one of the things that happens in this randomizer is enemies end up scaled. So the game will pick, or the randomizer will pick some possible path using the randomized logic to get through the game, and whatever that path is, the enemies along that path will slowly get stronger. So any enemies that it finds will be weakened or strengthened to fit according to where they are in the path. And then if you follow that path, it'll just be a nice linear increase in difficulty, just like vanilla. But that logical path is not necessarily the best path. Sometimes the logic is very silly about what it thinks you should do at what point in time. It's a very good song. So you can use the logic as kind of like a, oh, this thing is suddenly really, really hard, maybe I don't have to go here at all. But it could also just be that the logic had put off something for a really long time at random because the logic is kind of silly. So it's evidence, not a guarantee. Catador is going to continue on to Foresight on his bus ride. It does get you to Foresight slightly faster, but it makes getting to Mole Cave a little more awkward. This does unlock all of your teleports, though. Just the bus through counts. Alright, welcome to Foresight. Let's see what Catador does up here. It looks like an immediate Moonside play to me. No, he's heading... yeah, the Moonside. So one of the nice things about Foresight is the general Foresight areas. There's 2 open checks. Most places have less. So you can either immediately go to Moonside or immediately go to Mole Cave. And we have route divergence right here, where they are each doing one of those. Moonside, of course, is a lot shorter than Mole Cave. So you can probably expect them to finish these up at about the same time. Some of the Moonside enemies, especially Robopump, can be really nasty in the scaling, just as kind of an artifact of the... What are you doing, Tony? Does anyone know any dumb memes? Let's see if Catador knows a dumb meme. Uh-oh. He's paralyzed with indecision. It looks like he's going to give us a good one. Nobody knows how the Tony phone calls work, actually. This is very good. I always like when somebody actually bothers to type in something that takes some effort. That's a hallucinatory call, don't worry about it. Amen here. You'll be docked points, IQ, for typing A in your, A in your meme. Note that the points don't matter, and you can still win, but you'll definitely be losing points. If you're gonna mash... Actually, one of my favorites is just to, like, move the cursor all the way across and down to the, Did he? It looks like he teleported, so I don't think so. My favorite meme is... to the big O. Oh yeah, Andy Perfect likes that one. I like to just mash every character that's on my way over. Just have equivalent of smashing the keyboard. Alright, looks like Vapes is heading back into the mines to give it the final clear out. Catador has missed the text skip and is heading on down to whatever's replaced the Mani Mani, and Temple is turned into a ghost. Looks like we have a department store spook in here. It's actually kind of good to get department store spook out of the way. There's a couple of slots where he's very scary. You can see that Spook is using Freeze Epsilon, so that's another randomizer feature. All of the PSI attacks in the game use a like kind of fixed amount of damage. And there is no version of Freeze that is okay to use until like very near the end of the game. So the randomizer adds a bunch of weakened things. Epsilon is one lower than Alpha, and it uses those to scale down attacks for enemies that would not otherwise be scalable. And it looks like going to Moonside pays off pretty well. Catador's gotten a yogurt dispenser, which is one of the good items. Yogurt dispenser opens up the Monotoli building. Why is he teleporting to Foreside? That is a very peculiar thing to do. Good teleport. Opens up the Monotoli building. Monotoli building has a character check in it. So, unless Catador's very unlucky, he should be picking up Jeff or Pooh in here. Yep, there's still solidified in there. It's 25% chance. Not that kind. Several of the status effect moves also get scaled down, in addition to the fixed damage ones. Because getting paralyzed at level 1 is not okay. And even some of the, like, kind of okay seeming status effects, like poisoned, really are not okay if you have, like, 40 health. Alright, Vape's taking out another boogie tent. Is that his last one? That looked like the last one. Catador is missing robot skip. Vapes is finding money in a treasure chest. Alright, wow, that is unfortunate, taking a death on your very last tent. Trying a photo man skip, is he gonna get it? Nobody gets that one, that one's impossible. It looks like the scaling in here isn't too bad. Catador didn't immediately get destroyed by a robot. And Vapes is almost certainly going to go do this same chain of stuff. Catador attempting the clip that doesn't look like a clip. Eventually getting it. And getting another unfortunate robot. Speaking of fancy speedrunning tricks, Aurelix has figured out how to steal from the shop with no repercussions using a ton of teleports. So, all sorts of fun things you can do in this game. Ooh, is that a flaming dog? It's a flaming dog that goes ping, clankety, whir, beep, beep. Let's see how that goes. Once again, these sprites are fantastic, and they are courtesy of Messianic. Alright, we're now onto the more difficult dog. D stands for diamond and difficult. Actually, looks like there's going to be a lot more diversions than I was expecting, because Vapes is heading over to Happy Happy Village. And I wish that I could get rainbow of colors from my characters. Why can't Pooh turn into Diamond Dog when he gets bitten to death? Diamond Dog is doing Diamond Dog things here. We're on prey strats now. Everyone's asleep. That's not a good sign. Well, Secret or prey. They're basically the same idea at this point. It's a rough spot to find a dog. Ooh, and getting the 25% RNG secret herb not working, adding insult onto injury. That is a real shame. Alright. Vapes is now heading over to Happy Happy Village. I didn't see if they got the key to the cabin. If they did, then this is a very good play. Otherwise, it's just an item. Can somebody ban that person? Ooh, and there's a meteorite piece in here, and a Pooh, but they don't have the key, so they can't get the Pooh. Thank you, Aurelix. I don't know, Crimson. Being famous is weird. I'm famous in a community of like 20 people, and 3 of them have proposed to me. Alright, we're gonna see what they're doing up next. Oh yeah, they do have the Franklin badge, which makes heading over here a bit better of a play, because there's 2 items. It's Trillion and Sprout. Franklin badge will reflect Trillion and Sprout's lightning. Yeah. Being recognized in Indianapolis at all sounds very freaky. I actually noticed that a lot of people's least favorite boss is Trillion and Sprout. He's got a lot of diamondizing and paralyzing attacks. I don't really think it's that bad. Ooh, and Second Butts has gotten knocked unconscious or fallen asleep, or however you say that, by a flash attack. That's because we have Safe Flash Beta enabled, which replaces the Flash Beta death with a random status effect. So that could have been just a death, but instead it's just something annoying. Slippery Noodle Inn. I've actually never been to Indianapolis. And Catador is doing another attempt at the Monotoli building. Did a bit of gearing up on the way in. Knows what's waiting for him. Whoa, and Happy Happy Village is kinda loaded. We also see Repel Sandwich Deluxe is on sale. Vapes is probably going to be loading up on those. Once again, for people who are unfamiliar with the rando, Repel Sandwiches replace Skip Sandwiches, and they turn off enemy spawns for the same amount of time that a Skip Sandwich would have made you fast. Because of course you're always fast, because why wouldn't you always be fast? Walking slow is for not speedrunners. So the Repel Sandwiches have ended up being kind of meta-defining, one of the major features of this rando, which I thought would just be like a sometimes thing. They are instead just under constant use. And the DX version is by far the better one. It lasts twice as long, which turns out to mean that it is more than twice as good. Vapes does not remember who you talk to cure death. Of course it's a nurse. Does that make sense? Because it's Earthbound. Catador has a lot more psychic points available for this Diamond Dog fight than last time, so it should go pretty quickly. Yeah, without the, there's like the gap between the sandwiches every time you use one, and that adds up really fast when they only last 10 seconds. Also, it uses so much inventory space. Looks like Vapes is going in on the first Sanctuary. Whereas Catador is getting a Jeff. So that Diamond Dog death and that extra time to gear up afterwards is definitely going to be costing Catador some time. He has to catch up on everything Vapes has done in the interim. And when Vapes comes back over to do Moonside and Monotoli building, you know, all the stuff that Catador has to do in exchange is longer than that. But Catador has Jeff now. Jeff can do things, especially if you find a weapon for him, especially if you find BBRs or something like that. So that might help get through Mole Cave more quickly. So right now we have Catador has to do Mole Cave, Peaceful Rest Valley, Happy Happy, and Lilliput Steps. Vapes needs to do Moonside and Monotoli building, and that's what they have on top of the stuff they have in common. Hey Nanobite, thank you for the raid. I hope that your weekly went well. Yeah, so we're watching Catador versus WizardVapes. It is the only runoff match of this tournament. After this, we'll be into the round of 16. The winner of this will be going up against IQ, which is rough. IQ is terrifying. And the loser will be, I think, out for a week and then in again on the loser's bracket. Alright. So Vapes has cleared Happy Village unless he wants to go back for Pooh. If Pooh ends up being required, then that'll be like a 2-minute time loss. But Pooh being required seems fairly unlikely at this point. Vapes is also heading back to pick up Exit Mice, it seems. Doing that from Tucson is slower than doing it from Unend, so that's a like 10-second time loss. But always good to pick up your Exit Mice when you need them. Alright, now we have Mole Cave for Catador. Vapes took a death in here as well. Oh, it looks like Vapes is also getting his meme time all of a sudden. And he's, of course, going for the classic butts, which, you know, fits with his entire naming convention. It would be very strange if he did not. Oh, good. Somebody's finally checking Perkle. I can finally know what that item was. Ooh, Catador with kind of a clutch move, checking this vendor and finding out that there's repel sandwiches here. That's going to make the Mole Cave a lot nicer. This is definitely a place where you don't want to have enemy spawns. These are not as good as the DXs, but Mole Cave actually kind of has, like, 3 or 4 places in it where you use a sandwich, and that's, like, 90% of the spawns. A lot of bills. I lengthened the wrong letter. Catador's not even bothering with using the sandwiches before the heavy quarters. He's just using them all the way through. Alright, now Vapes is heading off to Moonside. And I missed what the thing was. Oh, you water billsing because that's what the mayor had? I missed that entirely. It's kind of strange to have back there, because we know that the water bills is no longer required. Oh, it looks like I need to mute one of these. Billy Waterbills. Do you think he's the person who invented the Waterbills? Yeah, so now both of them are doing stuff that the other one has already done. Which is always an awkward time in commentary. This route that Catador is using is slightly slower. Let's see if... And Vapes is using a text trigger skip, which saves a tiny amount of time. Well, the fire just went right through that tent. It kind of makes sense, really. Now we see that the Department Store Spook also knows Fire Epsilon. When Catador is through here, we mentioned on Freeze Epsilon being weaker than Alpha. Fire Epsilon is also weaker than Fire Alpha. Alright, now Vapes has a yogurt dispenser. Looks to be heading the opposite direction now. So I believe they already have the meteorite piece. They have Paula, and they have 2 sanctuary accesses. So, and they have 7 valley access. So what they're looking for now are 2 more ways to get to sanctuaries. So things that would help here are the signed banana, the key to the shack, and then like weird teleport things like teleport to Lost Underworld is always a potential check. And probably those 3 are the most likely ways that they're going to end up getting their last 2 sanctuaries, unless I just completely forgot something. Alright, Vapes is into the Monotoli dungeon portion. Gets the first robot skip, very nice. Gets the second robot skip, that one's RNG. Meanwhile, Catador is playing Duck Duck Noose. Ooh, Vapes gets all of his robot skips, very nicely done. But you cannot skip the Diamond Dog, so good luck with that. Now, it should be slightly higher level than when Catador went through here, so hopefully the dog is easier for him. The dog has already killed Paula. That's not a good start. That dog. The berry doggy. And Catador's on his final tent. That dog just uses PSI fire. Yep, and dog's down. Dog done, dog gone. Nobody knows where dog gone. Is the Monotoli heal in the actual game like a revive heal? Alright. If you mention that in the Discord, I can put that on my issue tracker. Did he get an item from Monotoli? I missed what it was. And that buffalo knows fire. I should have like an ancient to do to re-add that like run away and hide script to Monotoli, but that thing is really weird and complicated. Vapes almost went to do his tent check without reviving Paula. That would be a little bit too gutsy. And getting ambushed by a butterfly, as one does. So I would say that Vapes is fairly well in the lead now. He's done everything that Catador has done, and Catador still needs to do all of Happy Happy Village. I say everything, but there's also Milky Well. Milky Well is very fast once you found your repel sandwiches, though. And Barf Tent is defeated. But no special funny message, because they don't have poo in their party. And a monkey invitation. So monkey invitation is going to open up a wonderful item management challenge, and then after you do that, you get a key item and a teleport, which is really enough to end up having to go basically anywhere. We're seeing some attack shuffle happening over on Catador's side, and WizardVapes is just loading up on exactly what you need to get through the monkey cave as fast as possible. Just gonna hand like 4 items to monkeys and be done with it. And bothering to stutter this mole. That is disrespectful, that poor mole. That mole trains so hard. You're just gonna stutter past him and then back and then past him again. Here's a monkey in a suit. As we all know, this is the best sprite in the game. I'm just saying that because I made it. You can have your own opinions on best sprite. Honestly, it's probably Electrospectre. And Catador's got a meteorite piece. And, oh, found the key to the cabin somewhere, so that is Pooh. Hey, Andy. Well, thank you, Dana. It would be really cool to get bosses from other games randomized in here. Stuff from Mother 3 would be cool. Stuff from just like completely unrelated games would be very cool. If somebody just makes like a big library of boss sprites and stuff for that, we could probably make that happen. Coolix would be very fun. Vapes is actually checking more of Monkey Cave than most people do, picking up those end items and ending up with just a pile of cash. Meanwhile, Catador is going to be looting this stand, it seems. I don't know what he saw that he wants so bad. So if you... Oh, it's Brainfood Lunches. Yeah, that's something you might want to steal a whole pile of. So once you steal from this place, you're going to have to fight whichever boss that is here, and we can see that it's Thunder and Storm. But with 4 characters, it's probably pretty doable. Oh, he is just taking full advantage of this. I would not do that teleport strat. We haven't actually decided whether or not it's a glitch, first of all. Though, since we haven't, it's probably allowed. But secondly, you also just horribly crash your game if you mess up in the slightest. Also, he doesn't have Summer's access. I guess you could do it in Foreside. Alright, so Catador has Pooh, and a whole lot of Brainfood Lunches. WizardVapes has a fair chunk more progression done. I completely missed what the monkey items were. He's turning in the meteorite piece as well, which will be another teleport. It's another Guardian General. So another fun scaling fact, this combination of slots, Guardian General in a Sanctuary spot, ends up with 3 times as much HP as would otherwise. And Guardian General is such a joke that that's something you're barely even going to notice. Guardian General has a big grin on his face. Vapes has found his way to Summers, where the sand is pink and so are all the buildings. This is the only, like, chain of talking to NPC moon logic that it remains in the randomizer, because it's the only one that's not, like, split across several areas and would completely baffle you if you tried to do it in the middle of a run. And getting the kill with an HP sucker, that's pretty funny. I'm gonna add that to the bingo. Alright, and Magic Cake is another PK check. I'm gonna get another teleport here. Vapes is probably digging for Lost Underworld at this point, because that's the one that gives you a sanctuary. And Butts became conscious of Starstorm Omega. Yeah, there was the alpha on Liar's statue, so we don't end up being that far. Catador is also getting the reverse exit mouse. Is this the new meta? Did I miss something? Is this just now how people get their exit mice? Yeah, so they could use Dalam plus Carrot Key. They could use what is it? Lost Underworld access. It looks like Vapes is going to Pyramid. That's another thing you don't want to see in a 4-sank. Especially late in a 4-sank, you always feel like you're behind when you have to do this entire cutscene plus the Pyramid, both of which are slow. It looks like probably Pooh's item was the Cyan Banana, so that's going to hurt Vapes quite a bit. Missing out on Pooh here. By reverse exit mouse, I mean getting the exit mouse by going from Tucson, instead of by getting it from Onett. The Onett one is faster, I'm pretty sure. Like, I was certain of it until both of these two just did it the other way around. The Kraken cutscene here is always very fun, so keep an eye on WizardVapes' screen. This is something that one of the randomized bosses that ended up to be pretty funny. And it's Frankenstein. Meanwhile, Catador is on the 3rd Sanctuary, and it's Captain Strong. That's an easy one. You always like to see Captain Strong later in a seed. I'm surprised he's not going in with the Starstorms, though. But the guy is dead. Now, this is the one sanctuary that has some other benefit. There's an item back here. In vanilla, it's an item chest, and in this, it's with Maxwell here. Because otherwise Maxwell would have been removed from the game, and that'd be kind of sad. Also because at the time that I was doing this, I only had NPC items randomized. I didn't have item boxes randomized. So we're going to be getting another item here, and if this is the key to the shack, then, oh my goodness. Alright, this is going to be a real stinker for WizardVapes. Having missed Pooh, and then this, and then the route to Giant Step, WizardVapes is very far off the beaten track. Hopefully he's going to realize that he picked up something wrong, or maybe just get 2 sanctuaries other than the ones that are intended by the logic, and do so very quickly. Catador's inventory is so full of brain food lunches that he's having trouble finding the key to the shack. And Vapes is exploring a green pyramid. Yeah, kind of a shame for Wiz. I think they both have trackers up, so he must have just not realized that picking up poo could be the key to the seed. Vapes is probably realizing that the enemies in here are spicier than expected, might realize that he's went off the logic. That talisman resin is also something you would typically not see if you were on the right track. Yeah. I feel like I've heard the HP sucker sound effect more time having Catador stream on than I've heard ever before. Pyramid boss is Everdread. After a difficult pyramid dive, that's definitely something that Vapes wants us to see. Everdread is the most joke of any of the bosses. Of course, there's also Tax Shuffle, so it could just be a nightmare. And it seems like Joke was the answer. That's actually another slot that has reduced boss HP. Because Guardian General's a joke. And I believe that was Catador's 4th Sanctuary, so he should be doing his final prep and then heading off to Sanford Valley to go fight Googie. Hasn't turned in the meteor piece yet, that's kind of surprising. So once you have all 4 of your sanctuaries, the final Mistress Item shop shows up. In vanilla, this is after you beat Magicant, but Magicant is optional or shuffled or something, so that doesn't make any sense anymore. And we've got Horns of Life and not really anything else that's too useful in here. I believe the Catador has OK pendants, so we'll be sticking with those. Gygus does not use any fire attacks, unless the attack shuffle is feeling particularly mean. So that OK pendant is going to be the best freeze protection you can get, and in 4 Sank, freeze protection is what you want against Gygus. Oof, and Vapes is taking a wipe. I'm going to see if he decides to go reroute now that he's found out that the pyramid's terrifying, or if he's going to... Has he never saved? Holy cow. That is bold. So they call him Risky Wizard. The second time we've said that, maybe it'll become a thing. And they're both in Saturn Valley for very different reasons. In Saturn Valley, you can find the best doctor in the world who will give you free healthcare and lives in a trash can. Makes you think. That would be very cool, Ori. It would be after an incredible sprite artist shows up and does caricatures of a whole lot of you. And also probably after having bosses from the rest of the Mother series and other games. Risky Wizard has just like a 25% chance of completely annihilating a kid. Looks like Catador is not satisfied with that shopping trip and is picking up some other stuff. Vapes is also hiding in the deep darkness. It's very strange that they're in the same spot right now. It looks like it's just a BBR trip. "25% chance of just locking the game." The times that I've tried to intentionally destroy this game have not went nearly as amusingly as the times that I've done it accidentally. I was trying to do a patch a while back that would sync the battle background to the music, and I ended up horribly corrupting the SPC engine, and it sounds real bad. Alright, and Catador is in the Cave of the Past in the present, soon to be the Cave of the Past in the past. Looking for the teleport to Summers. Not gonna follow that up and get Starstorm Omega. Is gonna remember that there's a Horn of Life over here. Looks like Vapes is just picking up sanctuaries to go thinking. Oh yeah, the thing that I did was much worse than that. I don't know if you've seen it, but I like accidentally corrupted the reverb command or something, and it's not good. Right. Well, Vapes is having his first sanctuary, which was his second sanctuary. Yeah, if you want to see what I'm talking about, you can go into the Pika Hack channel and search the words ear gore, and you'll find it. Catador is very well prepared and into the Cave of the Past. Unless Gygus is unbelievably spicy, this is probably going to be in Catador's favor. Doing the nice safety save, healing up, and has a lot of repel sandwiches. Should be an easy trip through the Cave of the Past. The enemies in the Cave of the Past are all horrible. Everyone brings repel sandwiches here. This place is just not worth being in and actually dealing with the enemies. That repel sandwich inventory management is very sketch. Hopefully Catador has the 4 or 5 you need to get through here. And that Q capsule of legend. I'm giving it to Ness. Pooh was in Happy Happy Village. WizardVapes actually knew that Pooh was there, but did not have the cabin key when he first went there. I don't actually know where the cabin key was, but Vapes has definitely done whatever check led to it. And Pooh has the assigned banana, and the item in the Magnet Hill area is the key to the shack. So it just is... Pooh is 2 whole sanctuaries. Ooh, Catador ran out of sandwiches. It's gonna get one of those really nasty Cave of the Past fights. A really jammin' tune, of course. Come on, babes, figure it out. Oh, and Vapes is heading back into the pyramid. This is going to be rough for him. Yeah, I think Vapes forgot about the cabin key. That or, like, marked off that the cabin was checked accidentally. Or forgot that Pooh starts with an item. There are several ways that this could go wrong. Anyway, Catador's at Gygus, and Gygus' assistant is Titanic Ant. The Apple of Enlightenment could never have predicted this. Good luck, Catador. Big Ant. Paula has Shield Epsilon, which definitely makes this a lot easier. Somebody just had a very strange message. And the ant is already down. Now we have 25% attack shuffle. Attack shuffle, especially low amounts of attack shuffle, can really make Gygus a lot spicier than normal. Gygus actually has an absurdly high attack stat, but no attacks that use it. So any of the very common attacks that just use your attack stat can make Gygus a lot scarier than vanilla. 25% actually tends to be one of the scarier amounts, especially on Gygus, because the rest of Gygus' attacks are all really nasty. It looks like Catador is well versed in safety strats here. I'm going to make Gygus feel strange and all of that. Does he know that you need to re-up your brain shock every phase of the fight? Pen, Gygus, Gygus is Gygus. Meanwhile, something in the pyramid is making everyone in Vapes' party nauseous. But he is through, so hopefully he finds something very good here. Come on, Vapes. Dalam. Alright, so it's probably not going to be enough to catch Vapes up, but there are potential good things to find in Dalam. There'll be a character check there. That's either going to be a teddy bear or something special. And maybe being here will remind him to... Oh, he's not even checking the character. That's interesting. Just going straight to Pink Cloud, I guess. Flying man? Yeah, I'm surprised not checking that. That could have been a flying man. Wow, those are some really nasty enemies in Pink Cloud. Catador is well on his way to finishing the seed out, though. Not saving PP for the later phases and not being able to re-up Brain Shock is a little bit of a mistake. I wonder if you knew that Gygus heals Brain Shock. So for anyone who doesn't know, there are actually 3 different Gygus enemies in this phase. There's another one in the obviously different first phase. And they're actually not where you'd expect they would be. So there's one Gygus that can take damage. There's another one on the single turn before your first prayer, and his defense is disable. And then the rest of the way through is the third Gygus. When the background changes again, that's still the third Gygus, even though it looks like it should be a separate enemy or something. Yeah, so this one was not a change. There's also 2 prayers in. It looks like Catador's probably got it. It's always possible for Gygus to ruin everything, but the chances are getting very low now. We have 1 left. Get your GGs ready. Alright, and that's lightning. That's not going to ruin the day. So, GG Catador has defeated Goose Goose and is the first winner of any match in the tournament. Congratulations, Catador. I'm gonna hop over here and let us know. I think we need to... Looks like Catador doesn't know to hit the done button, so get that in there for him. Yeah, so that's the match. We're gonna just leave this on and hope that Vapes figures it out. If, prediction result is Catador. How many people have voted for Catador? I cannot see from here. Alright. Oh wow, and there's a Ness's Nightmare on Vapes' screen. Wherever Vapes is going is not a good place. How do we... Trying to figure out where to inform Catador that he is done. Looks like he's already moving his screen somewhere. There we go. And Catador is finished with a time of 1:17.16. It is a real shame that... Catador is Catador de Latas. I'll type it in the chat. Catador de Latas. Which, I'm actually not sure what that means. I'm pretty sure he's Portuguese or Brazilian, so that would be scavenger of cans, but if he speaks Spanish, then that is taster of cans, and he's a goat. Never actually figured that one out. Anyway, GG Catador. WizardVapes, I believe, is just WizardVapes. Catador has just started streaming. I don't know if it's going to be a regular thing for him, just doing it so that he can participate in the tournament. But you'll see a lot of him in the chat, and you'll also see a lot of him in the PK Hack Discord if you're also a part of that, because Catador is a big part of the Earthbound hacking community. Has contributed a whole lot of assembly stuff, helped an awful lot with something weird. Yeah, so it's contributed an awful lot with movement scripts and making it easier for people to edit cutscenes in this game. So yeah, big shout outs to Catador, and just a shame that Vapes didn't get through here. Yeah, I have no idea. Alright, we got 23 no problem here's, 10 teleport bonks, and tragically, none. Oh! It looks like somebody remembered. It looks like only Paula? Only Paula remembered to brush her teeth. That's better than usual. Good job, Catador. Alright. I'm gonna cut Catador's stream here so he can get off of it. Or actually just let him do it, whatever. Are we supposed to ping WizardVapes and tell him that he can give up if he wants? Otherwise we'll just watch him struggle for a while.
Grinding.
There we go. Catador's out. So, could somebody hop into WizardVapes chat and let him know that he can quit? It looks like he doesn't have the speed racing tab open. Yeah, I was trying and got him mad, and I was like, wait, I'm still on stream. I shouldn't be playing it. I don't have my second computer handy to fix it for me. There we go. Alright, unfortunately, WizardVapes is very off course, so we'll let him get through this fight and cheer him on through this. But after that, I'm gonna, let's see. We could end stream or we could just go raid him. Yeah, alright. We're gonna raid WizardVapes. Everyone give him a cheer on, even though he's not reading chat. And enjoy seeing if you can figure this out. Thanks everyone for joining in. There'll be a lot of these next week at various times. The timing will be all over the PK Scramble chat in the Earthbound Speedruns Discord. The timing, we're doing all the scheduling Thursday morning, and people will figure it out themselves there. So there you go. So I hope you all had a good time. Thank you, Nanobite. Thank you, Crimson Green. Thank you, Aurelix and Andy and everyone who showed up here. And I hope to see you all in the actual tournament. Alright. And wish WizardVapes some luck.